longtime clash comes back as the Jacks and Hounds meet in Charlotte to start Group 6 action in the USL Cup. The Charlotte Independents and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds face off for the first time since September 2021, as the rivalry potentially gets renewed at American Legion Memorial Stadium. The USL League One and ESPN Plus is presented by Novant Health, the official healthcare provider of the Charlotte Independents. Hello and welcome, I'm Ryan Lee. Thank you for joining us. Group 6 features 3 teams from League One and Championship. Charlotte, Pittsburgh both won their opening matches, as did Charleston, beating Richmond, Greenville, and Loudoun. With only 4 games in the group stage, every point and every goal carries massive weight, especially considering the hot starts that both Charlotte and Pittsburgh got in the opening round of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. As we mentioned, both teams took care of business in round 1. Charlotte took a familiar trip to Richmond and got on the front foot early, amassing a 2-goal lead in the first half from an Enzo Martinez brace. Although Richmond did get 1 goal back late, Mike Jeffries said that the hot start provided early confidence, and starting the tournament strong gives them the best chance to stay competitive as they get deeper into the cup. One piece that was absent from that Richmond game is our Gatorade player to watch, Luis Alvarez. Since returning to the roster 9 days ago, Alvarez scored in back-to-back league games. Coach Jeffries praised his soccer brain and the willingness to pull off the plays that most players won't even attempt, qualities that allowed Alvarez to take on a new set of responsibilities with the Jacks, setting up corners, the main man on free kicks, and also one of the best PK takers for Charlotte, and he'll be tasked with another tough one ahead, as the Pittsburgh Riverhounds on the other end also took a commanding win in round 1 against Greenville. Trevor Amon got things started 7 minutes in and never looked back. Amon's brace and a goal from Max Vieira put Pittsburgh firmly in the driver's seat against the Triumph. Head coach Rob Vincent said no matter who they play, they must always respect their opponents, especially after bouts of complacency in the Open Cup. Against Mike Jeffries' Jacks, he knows the second round will be far from easy. With familiarity being a major theme, another Gatorade player to watch has his name etched in the League One record books. Trevor Amon's 23 goals in 2023 remain a single-season record in USL League One. 4 of those came against Charlotte. 3 goals in the last 3 games has the Hound striker on a heater as he looks to take care of a familiar foe back in Charlotte. For the 16th time, it's the Jacks and the Hounds, nearly 5 years in the making. Rob Vincent previously played against a Mike Jeffries-led Charlotte squad. Now they're leading their teams in the USL Cup. The USL League One is presented by Novant Health. Lineups and kickoff are next.
I want to stop being sidelined by pain. I want to tell him I'm in. I want a surgeon who speaks more knees than he can count. I want the best care in the game. I want a team that's with me every step of the way. I want to bounce back fast. I want to show them my best is yet to come.
For the best orthopedic care, you want Novant. Novant Health. Best surgeons, amazing nurses, remarkable care.
When it comes to delivering high quality, affordable health care, relationships matter. And after 90 years, Blue Cross North Carolina is proud of the relationships we've built with you. We're 5,000 neighbors, friends, and family committed to improving the health and well-being of everyone across this state. We're here for you, all of you.
Well, folks, it's only 8 a.m. and it's going to be another hot one. Today's high is 85 degrees with lows ranging in the upper 50s. Tomorrow's more of the same, plus some light wind coming in from the northeast. Coming up at 8:30, Paul's got an exclusive
Babe,
heartwarming
it's
story.
8 a.m.
Coming up next as well.
Fried chicken, better with Pepsi.
Our Our starting lineups are brought to you by Capelli Sports, and for Charlotte Independence, they're going to go with a 3-4-3 where Enzo Martinez leads the way in the forward group. A brace versus Richmond put him as the player of the week in round 1 of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Alvarez also got goals in last 2 League One matches. He, Martinez, and Amaya all accounted for the 3 goals in their last win against Corpus Christi. Dimmick and Romero started all 7 league matches, and Levy is back in goal. And for Pittsburgh on the other end, Trevor Amon starts the way for the forward group along with the former Jack Jr. at 2. Walty and Mertz got helpers versus Greenville, and Bassett scored the final nail in the coffin for Louisville last time out. Barnes is the lone change in the back four from the last game against Greenville, and Mitch Butler is in goal. His first start since 2020 when he was with Philadelphia Union 2. We make our way at the center of American Legion Memorial Stadium. Round 2 of the Prinx Tires USL Cup Year 3. Pittsburgh Riverhounds of the USL Championship against League One's Charlotte Independence. 2 longtime rivals previously of the USL Championship. Now they go cross-league in the USL Cup as we begin here at American Legion Memorial Stadium. Pittsburgh will operate in the yellow, right to left, left to right in the red, and blue will be Charlotte. Ryan Lee and the rest of our ESPN Plus crew, we thank you for joining us here in downtown Charlotte for the Salute to Sacrifice night, honoring all of the men and women who serve our armed forces here in Charlotte. One of the many reasons why Charlotte is wearing their red homage kit, which is in large part due to the dedication of those in active service. A lot of opportunities to come for both of these teams, considering how hot off the fly they both had in their opening games of the USL Cup. For Pittsburgh, it was that dominating 3-0 lead against Greenville Triumph, previously of USL League One, a spot where it was actually the only place they had success in the tournament last year was against League One opponents. They fell behind a couple of points because they struggled against their fellow USL Championship sides. As for Charlotte Independence, they were a team that were pretty much up and down the entire way of the tournament, but they have been so sharp in that opening game against the Richmond Kickers. 2-0 off the gate, one back late, but still held on for the 3 points at the end of the day. Good news for both of these teams. It's not necessarily about goal differential, but rather just the raw number of goals scored being the primary tiebreaker for the wild card for whoever is the highest ranked of the second place teams in all 7 groups. Pittsburgh attempting deep, unable to connect for Amon, and it gets his way to the hands of Matt Levy. Matt Levy has played in pretty much every single game for the Charlotte Independence ever since their Open Cup loss to Charlotte FC of MLS. That was also a game where their primary backup, George Tesaurus, got knocked down, and this is taken away. Amon off the turnover, couldn't receive it at 2. The former Jack played here in 2021. Last time out, started off with Charlotte in 2020 when the Independents were still a part of the USL Championship. But right now it's Pittsburgh hemming Charlotte in their own end. Couple of bobbles, no one able to clean it. Bassett in at 2. At 2 gets dropped from Christopher Jaime, and this will give a free kick opportunity to Pittsburgh, where they've already had at the very least 1 or 2 stoppages go in their favor. Both of these teams are also coming off of very good runs in recent form across all competitions. If you include the last couple of games in the regular season and the USL Cup for Pittsburgh, they have won 3 of their last 4. Amon, too far in front, offside. Our injury report is brought to you by Novant Health. Lengthy on both sides of the pitch. For Pittsburgh, most notably their captain, Danny Griffin, still out. But good news for them is the availability of Albert Dikwa, who was out the last couple of games. He is in rotation, but he is going to be on the bench for today's game for Charlotte. A lot of the same usual suspects, but the only key addition to the injury report for the Jacks is Vigo Ortiz, one of the most promising young prospects, only 17 years of age, from Dallas, who actually previously had USL Championship experience with the Charleston Battery, who are also a part of the Group 6 pool in the 2026 USL Cup. Mike Jeffries and his Charlotte Independence squad. He is pretty much the face of Charlotte Independence, considering that he coached every single game aside from a small stretch where he was let go and brought back for a little bit of a stint. But when Mike Jeffries talked about this type of a matchup, just talking about the overall evolution that the Cup has gone through, going from all League One teams in the first iteration to now. Enzo Martinez's cross gets blocked. It'll go out of play for a Dimmick throw. Tossed it. Sadie could make its way back to Dimmick at 2 down the line. Another deep ball going end to end. Prince Sadie inbounds. Works on Kelp, sends it across. Couldn't find a way, and it's going to be punched out. Still loose. Charlotte unable to avert the danger as Butler only dissipate it for now. Jaime. Out wide, Dimmick. Return, Jaime towards the end line, sends it across. No one on the receiving end. Victor Sosa sweeps it away from the box. The former product of New England Revolution 2 of MLS Next Pro. Bit of a changeup for Mike Jeffries. You don't often see him utilize a back three at all in USL League One play, but he opts to do so with the 4 midfielder look. Joey Skinner. The last couple of games he was listed as a left back. This time he's listed as a left midfielder, but he often gets up in the attack from that back spot either way, so expect some of the integration between the offense and defense kind of interchanging with one another. But like we said earlier, Mike Jeffries talked to us about the overall evolution of the USL Cup from what it became when the first iteration came in 2024 as the Jägermeister Cup. He actually straight up told us he didn't like the format in that first year when it was League One only, but the addition of the USL Championship teams really added to the competition in terms of the overall expectation that can be had in the competition and the challenge that these guys want to put themselves through. Just like all athletes and all coaches do, they want to go up against the best to show that they are just that as well. Kind of reminiscing about how the Open Cup provides that opportunities against the upper levels, as does this tournament here. Turn around, top of the box, Manzinga gave it a go, but well wide. And someone in the first row ate that one.
Jack shot goes wide. It'll be a goal kick coming out for the Riverhounds.
Good to know it's all smiles despite taking that first shot attempt by Christy Manzinga, who got his first goal earlier in the month in the road game against Fort Wayne, which was his first start back on May the 2nd. That goal was also his 55th in all-pro competitions, considering that Manzinga has been professionally in the soccer biz since 2012. Pittsburgh inching their way up with Kelp helping out with Bassett. Walty widens at 2, couldn't get it to center as it went off of Dimmick. Dimmick and Martinez were the only 2 guys on this current iteration of Charlotte that were around when Junior at 2 was a part of the roster back in that 2020-2021 stretch before going over to Tampa in 2022 for the former international of the DR Congo. Deep try, Walty headed, loose. It's a foot race, but Skinner beats out Ahmad. And that was smacked out of play before more pressure could come from Luis Alvarez. Prince 80, streaking near side. Assistance with Dimmick. Centers. Martinez leads it. Manzinga swatted away by Souza, out of play. A Charlotte throw, and it seems very clear that Charlotte might try to pick up the pace, considering how there's a lot of familiarity between these two teams, especially the two coaches with Mike Jeffries and Rob Vincent. Rob Vincent actually played against several iterations of the Mike Jeffries Jacks in his final 2 years as a player, when he retired in when he left Pittsburgh in 2016, and the first time these two played was in July of 2015. These two have not played since 2021. 16 games across 6 years between Charlotte and Pittsburgh. A very one-sided affair that's actually gone Charlotte's way, but keep in mind, back at the time, Charlotte was still in the USL Championship. So they had their bouts back and forth throughout. Lost footing, could have created a turnover for Pittsburgh, but Charlotte will keep. Sadie nearly bobbled it, but keeps it at center. Gets around his man, Kelp. Jaime. And Charlotte continued to work upward. Chris Jaime gives it a go and punched away by Mitch Butler. Still free in the box. Not in the clear yet. And Pittsburgh trying to circle back as all not on the same page with Barnes. Turned over, Jaime, edge of the area, along the end line, but Souza got there first. Only a throw-in, not a corner, but it stays with Charlotte. And Chris Jaime, he's had plenty of opportunities to set things up the last couple of games. He just hasn't converted. As Alvarez, too aggressive on the back heel towards Skinner. There is the lead man for the Hounds, Rob Vincent. Just talking about the overall opportunity that this game can possess because of the overall respect and familiarity he has of Mike Jeffries back in the playing games like we mentioned earlier. He said that because of the respect he has for Mike and the understanding of their system, organization, and the talent will always be there. And you just have to expect that whenever you play a Charlotte Independence-led team, expect a full effort from the full 11. As Atu scraps with Dimmick. Bassett helps out. Atu dislodged by Sadie. Potential rush for Charlotte. Manzinga. He's one-on-one with McCoy. Manzinga hits the brakes, lets Dimmick come in. A dozen minutes so far. It's been 2/3 possession of Charlotte. Nothing come on the board yet. Jaime lets it fall through, and Trevor Amon jars it free. Novant Health is proud to be the official healthcare provider of the Charlotte Independence. With same-day and next-day sick visits, Novant Health provides care when and where you need it. Schedule online at novanthealth.org. A little bit of miscommunication there. As you can always see, potentially some of the overall kind of cat and mousiness of this game so far. Mike Jeffries making a special note of how much Pittsburgh's style and systems have really evolved throughout the year. And that's a sentiment very much shared by Rob Vincent as well, saying that the defensive side really didn't get going until about the last month or so, and because of not only the new season and new faces, but even just because of how little time Rob Vincent had to get with these guys because of the end of last season. It was an overall bit of familiarity, taking over things, a full off season in the works, and things have really gone well for Pittsburgh, all things considered. 9 games in, 4-4-1, top 5 in the Eastern Conference of the championship. And that's coming off of probably the biggest targets on the backs of anyone in USL, the reigning champs, in the Hounds. Romero inaccurate towards Manzinga. Kelp collides, takes the whistle. Another verdict made by our officiating crew. They're in black today. Elvis Osmanovic leads the way. Jacob Little, Eric Schreiber, and Marie Durr round out our crew for the officiating in black today. It's been a lot of hot action on the field, despite it being pretty modest. Only 71 degrees around kickoff time, no chance of precipitation. Really solid crowd here at Charlotte for the Salute to Sacrifice night. Full steam ahead. Perrin Barnes attempted to keep it. Comes back to Levy.
That ball played over the end line. It'll be a goal kick coming out for the Jacks.
Season tickets are available for 2026 with packages starting at $5 per match. Lock in the seats today by visiting tickets.charlotteindependence.com to secure your spot with the Charlotte Independence. And if you want to talk about securing spots with the Charlotte Independence, it's been a real up and down battle for Matt Levy in that department, considering that in 2023, he didn't play at all in his first season in USL League One, was the backup to Austin Pack in 2024, where it was very clearly Pack's net. And after Pack departed to South Georgia Tormenta in 2025, he did end up being...
Ball played over by the Riverhounds, and will be a goal kick coming out for the Jacks.
After Pack did depart for South Georgia Tormenta in 2025, it did seem like this was going to be Levy's net going forward, but a little bit of inconsistency, especially towards the final month and a half, 2 months of the season, actually allowed Levy to actually lose a little bit of ground in terms of securing his own net. They forced the hand of the staff of Charlotte to bring in a veteran in Amal Knight, and then Knight took over the end of last season, even into the playoffs, where Levy actually lost the net to Knight. And now Levy back in business to potentially reclaim that net to really secure it. As of right now, Mike Jeffrey says it is Levy's net, at least in regular season play. But because there's no viable backup, and also because of the overall performances that Levy's performed at, he's been able to keep his spot secure for the time being. Probably helps Levy also that the Charlotte team is something you don't really see. One of the top offensive units in League One, top 2 with 14 goals through 7 matches, 2 per game on average. Prince 80, space on the near side, wide of Manzinga. Martinez can only chase Souza. All loosens, Barnes, Alvarez chases. Couple of the regulars of this roster unavailable, either on the bench or not in at all. Aman gets up, Levy's out, and they couldn't get past. As Rayud Manin was the last line of defense for Charlotte. The former League One Golden Boot almost struck first, but it's out wide again. Sliding in, centering feed, couldn't get it behind Skinner. Another try, Romero gets in the way. Barnes is back. At the center circle, you got McCoy and Kelp. Bassett. All. Mertz widens. Wanted to go back in the middle, but the flag goes up.
Offside flag is up. direct kick.
A great opportunity to start as Trevor Amon. He's a guy who knows how to have his way in USL League One, but wait for the League One rookie to step in as the last line of defense. First year pro after 2 seasons with Presbyterian College for the 24-year-old Rayud Manin, who has really been asked to take up a huge mantle, considering that he is essentially taking over one of those 2 center back slots after the departure of Nick Spielman. Romero stayed, Dimmick stayed, but that spot laid vacant, and Manin has filled in really nicely. At 2, and Bassett retreat. Wide angle, Barnes to center, couldn't get past Manin again. Rayud Manin has been excellent so far for Charlotte, as Martinez tries to get out of the fray. Minutes in of round 2 of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Charlotte and Pittsburgh both won their respective opening games. For Charlotte in this tournament, they are 3 for 3 in openers, but still nothing on the board in round 2. Full steam ahead as Prince 80 is ahead of Kelp. Has help from Dimmick. That's where he goes. Dimmick inside. Alvarez back heels. Martinez gets it through. Blocked off his own man, and the rebound is in. Zinga gets it to go as Charlotte strike first in round 2. Manzinga only has 1 goal in regular season play, and this is a scramble play. Alvarez back heels to Martinez as he gets blocked off of Manzinga. Pittsburgh wants a potential offside as he is very well ahead of the play by the time that Martinez lets that one go, but no VAR in the USL. Referee's word is final. So at the time being, it is Manzinga's goal. He has 1 in the regular season and now once in the Prinx Tires USL Cup. He's been a pro all around the world for 14 years now for the 31-year-old Manzinga. You can go all over the world with him. You can go into Europe with England, Scotland, France, Hungary even, staying in Asia. He's been all over. Now the question is, how do Pittsburgh respond? They have had trouble reclaiming points after dropping the initial goal. Only one win and 1 tie when allowing the opening goal across 6 matches played. And that lone win, came from a 3-2 win back in match week 2 against Loudoun United, a team that until just recently got their first win in USL Championship play. They were over in that category for a long time, Loudon. And now Pittsburgh need to find a way to get back into this one. It's held on by Charles All.
Offside flag is up. Indirect kick for the Jacks.
Jaime slithering through, gives it back. Martinez coughs it up. Junior at 2. The captain, Robbie Mertz. Pittsburgh, very methodical at the moment. It's a nice takeaway by Martinez, way back defensively, and it'll be a foul against Sam Bassett. Tune in to CBS SN May 23rd for USL Championship Northeastern Showdown. Rhode Island FC take on the newcomers Brooklyn FC, 7 p.m. Eastern. All the action May 23rd on CBS SN. What a run it's been for Rhode Island for their first couple of years in the USL Championship. Introduced in 24, made the final. Introduced in 25, made the conference final. And already established themselves within the USL Championship in such a short time. Overhead ball, Alvarez cuts back. Barnes all over. So as it stands, it is Manzinga, and the helper comes from Enzo Martinez, who got a brace in the first round of the USL Cup. And that brace actually gave him the honor of being the player of the round in round 1. Too far from Martinez. It's held on by Mitch Butler. Someone who we almost have not spoken about at all in this game, but a very intriguing story across the board. 23 years old. This is his first game for Pittsburgh in any competition. It's his first year with Pittsburgh. I've spent the last couple years in the NCAA with the Akron Zips. All Whiteds. Mertz. Sent across. No one on the receiving end. But Clay Dimmick. And you've seen a lot of the danger come from this near side with Dimmick and Sadie. They center for Martinez. Launching. Luis Alvarez. He's free. Alvarez, top of the box. Scrambling to the side. Wants to chip it, but just missed the post.
Shot by Alvarez goes wide. It'll be a goal kick coming out for the Riverhounds.
Luis Alvarez, very versatile. Already, one of the more intriguing parts of this matchup is the quality of players on both sides of the pitch, especially for Charlotte. They have those USL Championship quality players like Luis Alvarez, actually on loan from the Tampa Bay Rowdies, where last year he was actually sent on loan to Tampa from Charlotte. Now he's on loan to Charlotte from Tampa. But he is still technically a part of a USL Championship roster with the Tampa Bay Rowdies, even though he's here with Charlotte. And you could go down the laundry list of guys who spent time up in the championship, including Skinner and Martinez amongst those guys. Put Sadie in that mix too. Stripped. Sadie. And that doesn't go much further for the team in red. Turned over, Charlotte are back. It was Martinez and Manzinga up high. Sadie can't get free. Jaime clips him down. Blue Cross Blue Shield of NC is the official health insurance provider of the Charlotte Independents. Blue Cross NC makes health insurance easy. Discover employer, individual, family, Medicare, and Medicaid plans from Blue Cross NC. Better care starts here. Talking about this matchup with Rob Vincent, he put lower leagues in very big air quotes because it is just that. It is simply a perception at the end of the day, considering that, especially with some of the bouts they had in the Open Cup, they had some tight ones, including 2-1 against Steel City, 2-0 against the Virginia Dream of some of those amateur sides. There can be a natural mental complacency that comes just from the quote-unquote lower levels. But one of the biggest struggles in a tournament like this, especially going cross-league, is avoiding that and maybe not taking your foot off the gas at any point. But they have been dinged up. Their laundry list of injuries is very long as that goes off of Clay Dimick, and this will open up the first corner of the match.
Ball defended over the end line. It's going to be a corner kick for the Riverhounds.
First corner of the match for either side as we are a half an hour into this match. Still 1-0, Christy Manzinga with the opening goal. Helper from Enzo Martinez, but maybe a chance for Pittsburgh to respond. Scramble in the area, the header is high.
Header goes over the goal.
You had Souza in the mix, same with McCoy. Trying to body off the 6'2" Rayoud Manin with a 6'5" McCoy and another 6'2" Souza. Watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. And that'll draw a big protest from the Hounds, especially considering that they are down 1-0 at the moment. Luis Alvarez, disaster averted. Martinez, back to Alvarez, tries to control but couldn't get through. You had a whole wall of yellow in the way. It's the second time all year that Charlotte have come into a match winning back-to-back. 3-1 against Corpus Christi and 3-1 at home last time against AC Boise. The last time they had back-to-back wins, that third game was in the Open Cup where they had one of the headline cup sets against the Charleston Battery where they took them all the way to extras to win that one 3-2. So there is potential against another USL Championship opponent to claim a third consecutive win across all comps. And they are most certainly in the driver's seat already with that 22nd minute goal from Christy Manzinga. All sliding by. Miscommunication at 2 as he takes the foul. And it could be the first yellow card perhaps.
Fans, we're at the 30-minute mark, which means it's time for
Doesn't seem like it at the moment. Sadie makes his way back to his feet.
All halftime participants, please make your way to the Pepsi sign located to the right of the scoreboard.
It's all trying to send it across to Etu. You very clearly see Sadie pressuring. As we mentioned, one of the guys on this roster in this League One team that have that championship pedigree, starting off his stints in the U.S. with Miami FC back in 2020. Traveled around as recently as 2024 with the Battery. And split that time with the inaugural Rhode Island squad. Also stops with the Hartford Athletic and Phoenix Rising along the way for Sadie. Now 33. Alvarez chases it down. Left to right. Double team in the mix. Martinez corrals it. Top of the area and just on the outside. But it did take a nick on the way, so it is Charlotte's first corner.
It will be a corner kick for the Jacks.
Fantastic effort by Enzo Martinez. He is in his 150th start across all competitions with the Jacks.
Luis Alvarez. Come on, Independence fans, let's hear ya.
Combined 8 seasons across his 2 stints as Martinez draws the first corner for Charlotte. It's Alvarez on the far side. Curls it. Jaime. Amaya. Jefferson Amaya from range, but it is going to bounce out of play. Shop the Charlotte Independence's latest collections at charlotteindependence.myshopify.com or by clicking the shop button at charlotteindependence.com. And perhaps you could pick up what I could personally say is, in my opinion at least, the best of the bunch kits, the reds that they're rocking right now for Salute to Sacrifice Night, commemorating the men and women in duty. Debuting this red homage kit last year and have kept with it since. Pittsburgh already having just come off of a very defensive battle with Lou City, where they had absolutely been barraged all game at Lynn Family Stadium. Lou City put up 24 shot attempts, including 7 on target against Pittsburgh the last time that the Hounds were in play. However, at the end of the day, Pittsburgh would take that win on the road by a final of 2-0, and it's really a credit to what Rob Vincent and his guys did. Just talking about the overall defensive effort, and even though how it wasn't necessarily the plan, sometimes the game just organically plays out a certain way, and when you have a team like Louisville who are putting up 24 shot attempts, they were just more or less holding on for dear life at that point to a very successful result, their first clean sheet of the year. And on top of that, you had Player of the Week performances in the USL Championship by Nico Campuzano. Save of the Week in that mix also. And Campuzano not available for today, as Rob Vincent giving his rotation slots to his 2 backup keepers. Today it's Mitch Butler. In the first game in the USL Cup, it was Mike Sheridan, both of whom formerly of Philadelphia Union 2, just in different aspects. For Butler, it was back in 2020 with the USL Championship side when Philly Union 2 were there, and for Mike Sheridan, it was the last 2 years in Next Pro. Amon heads it down for All. Pittsburgh look to operate. Mertz, All, just wide of Amon. Still only the 2 attempts for Pittsburgh with under 10 to go in the opening half. Pittsburgh has attempts, the same number on target that Charlotte have, 2 each. Charlotte, for the record, 6 attempts. And only the 1 on the board thus far. Martinez, harassed. Walty, couldn't be Jaime. Pepsi is the official soft drink of the Charlotte Independence. Enjoy an ice cold Pepsi while watching the Jacks. Pepsi, born in the Carolinas. Charles All looking for a call, not getting it. Into space, Walty. especially for a Pittsburgh side that need to get their offense going. They have the second fewest shot attempts in the championship in regular season play. The only team that are below Pittsburgh at that mark are Sporting Jacks, who their USL Championship side just finally got their first win in any competition in the midweek against Sarasota. It's been a bit of an offensive struggle for Pittsburgh for the large part, but they have managed to make it work. Still in the top 10 in goals scored, all things considered. But we just don't have enough attempts. Eventually, things can most certainly run dry as All's pass gets deflected back to Mertz. And had Barnes pursued, he would have been offsides. Five minutes to go in a 1-0 game. Manzinga the lone goal. Matt Levy on the goal kick with the Select ball that is proud to be the official match multiplier of the USL Championship. From grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. And Levy's will be to go deep. Walty gets it free at 2. Works with Kelp. Full steam ahead at 2. Amaya hustles back. He flies it across. Too high, in fact.
Long cross goes over the end line. It will be a goal kick coming out for the Jacks.
Mertz has at 2. Walty. High ball for Barnes, edge of the area. You have a man down on the near side, but the Riverhounds still working. Return for All. Makes his way in, works on Romero, and Romero gets a nice block in front. Jaime is free. You had at least one Hound down on the ground, maybe another there, as that gets lobbed towards Martinez. Alvarez, Martinez. Bit of a aggressive touch there. With that 3-0 win against Greenville, Pittsburgh going into the day had that early lead in terms of at least goals scored. Keep in mind, when you take the points into effect, the second tiebreaker of that is most goals scored. Barnes by the corner. Reinforcements for the Riverhounds. Barnes centers, headers there, and Levy gets the grab. Matt Levy is a man who's been very busy in this League One season. His 25 saves are the third most in League One in regular season play. Once again, trying to reestablish himself as that #1 starter for Mike Jeffries. Was the backup to Austin Pack in 2024, was the presumed starter to begin 2025 before losing the net in the final month and a half. And right now, the net is essentially his to lose. Amon slipped, but reinforcements come in Mertz. Walty up the gut. Bassett at 2. Those crosses just not working, and even more so, it's offside.
The ball did travel over the end line and will be a goal kick coming out for the Independents.
some of Pittsburgh's kind of conundrums in this game so far. They've been getting the opportunities, they've been getting the looks. They have those touches in the opposition's box, but 3 offsides to Charlotte's 0 most certainly are not going to do you any favors if you're the Hounds. Especially considering that in the 15 games these teams have played prior, Charlotte have won 9 of them. 5 draws, only 1 Pittsburgh win when these two have played. That was in July 3rd of 2021 where Pittsburgh won by a final of 1-0. And that was in Pittsburgh. They have never won in Charlotte, have the Hounds. So if they can come back, they could do something historical. Help has help. All stoppage time presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. A singular minute on the board as Charlotte sends it down to center. Martinez whips it deep. Alvarez tangled up with McCoy. Sozo walks away with it. Talking about that Greenville game for Pittsburgh, that early goal relieved some of the pressure. That could be what's been happening with Charlotte. Very reminiscent of what Mike Jeffrey said in the Richmond game, how that early pressure really helped them get in their groove, find their confidence early. But Pittsburgh need to find an answer as we're pretty much across one, too far ahead of Bassett, guided out of play.
Ball played over the end line.
For what will be the end of the first half.
At the end of the first half, your score brought to you
cagey, back and forth. But at the end of the day, Charlotte have the edge. 1-0 at the half. Christy Manzinga with the opening goal in the 22nd. And that's where we sit after 45 minutes of play. Round 2. Night 1 of year 3 of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Halftime is presented by Courtyard Marriott. More from the USL Cup coming up after this.
I want to stop being sidelined by pain. I want to tell him I'm in. I want a surgeon who's fixed more knees than he can count. I want the best care in the game. I want a team that's with me every step of the way. I want to bounce back fast. I want to show them my best is yet to come.
For the best orthopedic care, you want Novant. Novant Health. Best surgeons, amazing nurses, remarkable care.
Carolina Ascent, coming to American Legion Memorial Stadium. Super Women of Soccer. Speed changes everything. Mackenzie George, lightning fast. Before you hear the thunder, you see the flash.
Something big is coming. Saturday, May 16th, it's the fantastic finale. 2,000 t-shirts from Morningstar Storage, Taylor Swift tribute band from Gainbridge, the Food Lion Base Camp Bash, and post-game fireworks.
CarolinaAscent.com. We kick grass.
Well, folks, it's only 8 a.m. and it's going to be another hot one. Today's high is 85 degrees with lows ranging in the upper 50s. Tomorrow's more of the same, plus some light wind coming in from the northeast. Coming up at 8:30, Paul's got an exclusive
Babe,
heartwarming
it's
story
8 a.m. Fried chicken, better with Pepsi.
Prinx Tires is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Built for practical performance and the long haul, Prinx delivers reliability for everyday drivers like you. Visit PrinxTireUSA.com to learn more. Remember, that's Prinx Tire singular, not plural, in the URL. 1-0 here in Charlotte. Brought to you by Courtyard Marriott. Munzinga with a lone goal 22 minutes in, and we are in round 2, day 1 of the USL Cup. As we mentioned throughout the broadcast, Enzo Martinez with his brace against Richmond Kickers put him as the player of the week in round 1. You also had that brace against Greenville that put Trevin Amon up in the team of the round as well. And you also just have so much of the variety, so many faces from across the USL League One and Championship. It's really the beauty of this tournament, right? You get guys from all over the place, different teams, different leagues, just showing up and showing out the best they can. And in terms of at least week 1, it most certainly did not disappoint. Well, we took a look at some of the best players from round 1. Let's take a look at some of the best plays throughout the USL Cup. Ends it deep. Ordonez on a double team. Philip grab the chance and scores!
Kwame Ohuwa feathers it forward. But look at Pedro Santos picking up speed, finds himself unmarked at the right time. A first touch finish. It's a superb strike, and that is your Prinx Tires USL Cup round 1 goal of the round.
By Pickering, gets the return, spots Anderson. He is there again, 1v1. Anderson, oh, come on! Anderson! Spun away by Cleaver. Leave it to Cleaver, what a save!
"42 clubs in the USL Championship and League One will form 7 groups filled out by region. Each club will play 4 group matches, and when the dust settles, the 7 group winners will advance along with 1 wildcard team, not 2 wildcards like last year. The remaining 8 clubs will be drawn into 4 quarterfinal matches with 1 stipulation. The wildcard cannot be drawn against its group winner. The 4 quarterfinal winners will then be drawn for the semifinal round, with the 2 finalists drawn to determine the host for the Prinx Tires USL Cup final.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything.
Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
Prinx Tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinx tires will be there for the long haul.
I want to stop being sidelined by pain. I want to tell him I'm in. I want a surgeon who speaks more knees than he can count. I want the best care in the game. I want a team that's with me every step of the way. I want to bounce back fast. I want to show them my best is yet to come.
For the best orthopedic care, you want Novant. Novant Health. Best surgeons, amazing nurses, remarkable care.
We're back here in North Carolina at American Legion Memorial Field, where it is a North Carolina Derby coming at halftime, coming down the stretch, all by himself, leading the way, the line, all by himself. And he is looking for the final stretch, and he is gone. Making his way through the North Carolina Derby as we have halftime between the Independents and the Riverhounds, presented by Courtyard Marriott. Upcoming schedules between the Jacks and the Riverhounds for Charlotte. They have 3 games in USL League One play. They do not play in the next weekend of Prinx Tires USL Cup action in the first week of June. They do have 3 games in regular season play. However, they have their first matchup against the Mingos of Madison before taking back-to-back on the road in Naples and in Chattanooga. 2 very daunting road matches, to say the least, across USL League One. As for Pittsburgh, they will be playing on that first week of June leg in the Prinx Tires USL Cup, but first they have to host Miami FC, and that will be on May 30th before going onto the road against Charleston Battery. How many playoff matches have they had against each other? This will be another possible playoff environment between the Battery and the Riverhounds. And then Indy 11 will also come to Pittsburgh in the middle of June as well. From all around the USL and the USL Cup, we'll circle back to this match on the other end.
It is halftime in the Prinx Tires USL Cup. We hope you enjoyed the first half. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with a look at some of the headlines for the week. Hartford Athletics' Adrian Diespay had quite the match in Week 10 against Detroit City. He recovered from an own goal to score the game-winning goal in a 2-1 win over Detroit. Diespay helped head coach Brendan Burke achieve his 100th win in the USL Championship. Chattanooga Red Wolves got back into the win column last weekend and added some history in the process. Matt Bentley scored 3 goals and assisted on another goal in a 4-1 win over Sarasota Paradise. Bentley is the 4th player in League One history to record a hat trick and an assist in a single match. In a span of 1 week since the opening of Ruoff Morgan Stadium, Fort Wayne FC has won 2 matches and drawn another, and the play of Tag Healy has led the way. Healy has scored in all 3 of Fort Wayne's home matches and enters this week on a 4-game goal-scoring streak. He's already accomplished a lot at 22 years old, leading NC State to the NCAA College Cup final last year. In 2024, Healy was the MVP in the USL League Two final. Upcoming national TV broadcasts, all in the championship. Rhode Island and Brooklyn next Saturday. Sporting Jackson San Antonio on the 27th. Then it's Louisville City and Tampa Bay Rowdies on the 30th. All 3 matches on CBS Sports Network. Well, the second half is getting closer. Let's get you back out to your match.
USL All Access on SiriusXM FC every Tuesday night. Devin Kerr, Mike Watts, we've got all the news around the championship.
This series is a dead heat. This is the one we've talked about since the end of May.
We'll recap weekly results, talk about player transactions, coaching tactics, and hey, maybe even a guest appearance by some interviews.
Who knows? SiriusXM FC every Tuesday night and the following day on the USL YouTube page and the SiriusXM app.
I want to stop being sidelined by pain. I want to tell him I'm in. I want a surgeon who speaks more knees than he can count. I want the best care in the game. I want a team that's with me every step of the way. I want to bounce back fast. I want to show them my best is yet to come.
For the best orthopedic care, you want Novant. Novant Health. Best surgeons, amazing nurses, remarkable care.
When it comes to delivering high quality, affordable health care, relationships matter. And after 90 years, Blue Cross North Carolina is proud of the relationships we've built with you. We're 5,000 neighbors, friends, and family committed to improving the health and well-being of everyone across this state. We're here for you, all of you.
Carolina Ascent, coming to American Legion Memorial Stadium. Super Women of Soccer. Speed changes everything. Mackenzie George, lightning fast. Before you hear the thunder, you see the flash.
Something big is coming. Saturday, May 16th, it's the fantastic finale. 2,000 t-shirts from Morningstar Storage, Taylor Swift tribute band from Gainbridge, the Food Lion Basecamp Bash, and post-game fireworks.
CarolinaAscent.com. We kick grass.
Well, folks, it's only 8 a.m. and it's going to be another hot one. Today's high is 85 degrees with lows ranging in the upper 50s. Tomorrow's more of the same, plus some light wind coming in from the northeast. Coming up at 8:30, Paul's got an exclusive
Babe,
heartwarming
it's
story.
8 a.m.
Fried chicken, better with Pepsi.
Prinx Tires is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Built for practical performance and the long haul, Prinx delivers reliability for everyday drivers like you. Visit PrinxTireSingularUSA.com to learn more. Day 1, Round 2, in Year 3 of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. It was a really exciting back-and-forth affair as a halftime house presented by Novant Health. Christopher Jaime has been trying to do a lot of the effort by himself, and it was a golden opportunity, just shy of 20 minutes from Trevor Amon, but the wide angle just couldn't get through. You had Levy literally climbing outside the box, but you had that final reinforcement in Raoud Manin, and this would be the goal that would open things up. Alvarez drops it off, Martinez, and even though Pittsburgh's clamoring for a handball, it will count as Manzinga got behind the D. It actually goes off of Manzinga. This easily could have been Martinez's goal, but the inadvertent block and the tap-in for Manzinga to get his first in this tournament. Alvarez really commanding a lot of the offense, too, in his own way. Got the back heel to get it to Martinez in that last sequence and trying to chip inside of the post in that one. And then you have Martinez again. Another try from inside of the area, but this one did take a clip along the way, so no save required by Mitch Butler. And all things considered, it's been about as level as you can have, except Charlotte are just doing more with their possession, with their opportunities, with their 6 on target, with their 6 attempts, 2 on target, versus the 3 attempts that Pittsburgh have at this point. We flip halves here in Charlotte. Charlotte will be in the red and blue. They'll start off right to left, while Pittsburgh all yellow left to right. They'll begin the second half, which is where we begin at American Legion Memorial Stadium in downtown Charlotte. Day 1, Round 2, Year 3 of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Both Rob Vincent and Mike Jeffrey standing pat as Ryan Lee and our entire ESPN Plus crew welcome you back here to Charlotte, where both Charlotte and Pittsburgh won their respective opening games in this tournament. And for Charlotte, at least for all intents and purposes, they want to make it 3 straight wins, but now we have a takedown in the middle where you had Dimmick and Atu. As we mentioned before, 2 former teammates with this club.
Ladies and gentlemen, Black Tie Transportation is the official team transportation.
Dimmick has been here since 2019. Atu didn't come to Charlotte too far after until 2020-2021. This was the jump ball with Atu and Dimmick, and it just seems like Atu gets the better of Dimmick and maybe gets a piece of the elbow, perhaps. Coach Jeffries speaking with the assistant coach that has come back to Charlotte in Dave Carton. And a nice staff that he's built out, even with one of his other assistants, Gabriel Oberton, who was a part of the actual roster not too long ago, but he made his retirement into soccer, goes into coaching to join Mike Jeffries and his staff. And what a nice staff that Jeffries has had, especially considering that Dave Carden, not the easiest of goes at Westchester, but returns where he knows he's accepted. And their independent side will get the first advantage of the second half with the yellow card going to Junior Etu. As we mentioned, former Jack for 2 years, centering in the box, not to anyone in red. Another takedown in the circle, however this one is advantage Pittsburgh. Relatively calm, 69-degree day here in Pittsburgh. You still see Clay Dimmick grabbing at that face area. Seemingly no blood at all in that regard. He is by far the most experienced of the Independence players. As of today, 180 matches across all competitions for Charlotte. Number 2 in all of Charlotte history in terms of matches played with the Jacks. He still trails Joel Johnson by about 40 matches, but good news for Dimmick. If he can remain healthy and on the roster for at least another year, that could easily be broken by himself. As Alvarez gets knocked down, and that's not a sight that's pretty if you are Charlotte, considering that he just returned from injury about a week and a half ago. Alvarez, Kiteman. He doesn't even win the ball. That was won by Perton Barnes. Alvarez is still slow to get up. And he's had a great return since coming to the roster also. Especially with the performance he had in his return to the lineup against AC Boise. He had a PK opportunity that was saved. He hit the post 3 times and even got the game-winning goal. He was swarming the net all game long against Boise. But that could absolutely bring a lot of advantages to Rob Vincent, who, all things considered, even though it's technically his second year with Pittsburgh, only about a dozen matches in USL Championship play. And that includes the final couple of games of last year where he took over as interim in October last year and became the full-time head man in the offseason. If you include all competitions between the regular season and the playoffs, he started off 7-0 to end last year when he took over. However, it's a very unique 7-0. You had 3 games in the regular season, 4 in the playoffs, and of those 7, 4 of them were ties. Only 3 were wins. Oh, what a slip ball. Finds his way to Robbie Mertz. Holds back, waits for help. Barnes. Mertz again. Pittsburgh looking for space, considering that they are a top 10 unit in goal scoring in the USL Championship, but they are one of the worst teams at creating opportunities, bottom 2 in shot attempts. At 2, Bassett looks for a lane. 50-50 ball comes back to Pittsburgh. Alvarez is back in. We're back to 11-all as Barnes occupies near side, sends it across. The header doesn't get towards Levy. Instead, goes outside towards Prinx. Retrieved back by the Riverhounds. Sent it too high.
Cross goes over the goal and will be a goal kick coming out for the Jacks.
Novant Health is proud to be the official healthcare provider of the Charlotte Independence. With same-day and next-day sick visits, Novant Health provides care when and where you need it. Schedule online at novanthealth.org. Hounds have it again. Amon couldn't connect with Mertz, but it will remain with the Hounds. Haven't really seen a lot of Trevor Amon all game today, but credit to the defense of Charlotte to do everything they can to shut down a guy who had 23 goals in 2023 when he was still a part of the Northern Colorado Hailstorm. Still a single season record as it's headed in the mix. Loose. Slapped away by Monin. And it's just playing ping pong at this point. Takedown near the sideline. Alvarez got knocked down again, and this will draw a yellow card towards Victor Souza.
Yellow card caution shown to number 5, Victor Souza. In the 52nd minute.
Only a touch over a dozen minutes into the game, and Pittsburgh already drew a pair of yellows. Usually one of the more disciplined teams in the league in championship play, but yeah, it's well outside the boundary line there. Outside the boundary line, late, call what you want, but it's not really something you see from Pittsburgh. They're within the bottom 2 in both fouls and yellow cards, with the least number of yellow cards in the entire league, tied with Detroit with only 11 in 9 games. Just shows the composure that Pittsburgh have had and the overall discipline they've had, but they're still trying to make it work. All barely kept in play by a 2. Across all comps, Charlotte come in 4 unbeaten, including 3 wins. For Pittsburgh, 3 wins in the last 4. The only loss was 1-0 against Phoenix Rising. Walty widens a 2 on Dimmick again. Sends it. Centering feed. Turnaround try. Goes off a body. And it's chased down. Barnes keeps it. Blocked away. Javier Romero escaping Bassett. And there's a takedown in the area as Charlotte were trying to go full steam ahead. It's Javier Romero who goes down. The 20-year-old from LA came to Charlotte from Chivas' youth program. One of the more interesting nuggets on Javier Romero is he's 20 years old. He's still physically growing into his body. His height last year was listed at 5'9". This year he's listed at 6'0". The man grew 4 inches over the summer, which is wild to think about in its own right. Short of Skinner. Back to Pittsburgh. Alvarez lost his footing. He might still be a little uncomfortable from the 2 knocks he took earlier. Walty at the center circle has help from Bassett. Scored that second goal that pretty much called game against Lou City a couple weeks back. Walty. Pittsburgh possessing in this early portion of the second half, 10 minutes deep, but still down by 1. Charlotte have been perfect. 4 wins in 4 games when they're up at the half. The question is, can they hang on? Back and forth, too far from Mertz. All controls for Barnes. Barnes centers, all got the ricochet, but wide.
Pass goes over the end line. Goal kick coming out for the Jacks.
Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get your USL tickets from and more from the #1 ticketing site. SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Front row at American Legion Memorial Stadium. That is most certainly a great seat, especially in the opening 5 minutes. So the lucky fan banging the drum who ate one of those wide shots right in the dome. You know it's a great seat when you get to touch the ball, when you get to touch the actual game ball. As Pittsburgh will take over from center. Across, Skinner cuts it off. Alvarez regains control to Charlotte. last couple of games between Corpus Christi and AC Boise. Charlotte have tended to ramp things up once they came back from the half. That was a point where they eventually got the game winner against AC Boise, and they really put a lot of pressure on Corpus Christi pretty much throughout, but they've continuously stayed in the fight, and they really settled in throughout the first half and finally got their footing throughout the second. Pittsburgh are still trying to find their sea legs so far in this game, considering that they only have that one shot on target in that opening 20 minutes from Trevor Amon, as it's Luis Alvarez starting the attack for Charlotte. Alvarez easily caught by Mitch Butler. He hasn't been forced to make a lot of saves, but that is his second on 3 total on target for Charlotte. You do have a lot of good options on the bench if you do want to use them at some point if you're Rob Vincent. Trying to really utilize some of these guys who have been pretty hot for you as of late. Your junior at 2, the former Jack. You have Trevor Amon, who has 4 goals in 10 games in all comps this year, but they haven't put anything on the board yet. As Sadie, the aggressor, centering feed, no one on the receiving end. He had Kelt beat as Alvarez hustles to keep it in play, beats out Barnes. Alvarez across, cut down. Jaime not in time. And at 2, starts movement for Pittsburgh as he got bodied before the center line.
It's time for substitutions brought
So
to you by
we will have a pair of changes. Rob Vincent will be the first to change things up. Perrin Barnes will come out, as will Junior at 2. And coming in, we will have Ilal Osumanu and Albert Dikwa, both of whom have plenty of opportunities to fill up their trophy cases across the USL and USL League One. Albert Dikwa, the former Golden Boot in 2023, and Ilal Osumanu, who won the double in 2021 when he was a part of Union Omaha in League One. And Dikwa is a guy who was actually out for the last couple of weeks. Just kind of getting dinged up, didn't want to push things too far. Didn't want to maybe exacerbate anything that they had, any of those dings and knocks. I know those big mystery against the Lou City game. But they held on well without Dikwa, all things considered. And John Baquero will go into the mix as well for Prince Sadie, who has had a really strong performance, all things considered. But it's a chance for Baquero to come in only a minute after Pittsburgh makes their change. Baquero, the Spanish attacking midfielder from Wake Forest. Charlotte looking to lead the way, but it was out of range of Manzinga. Alvarez just getting harassed, and you can tell he's not feeling, especially that lower back. Amon gets turned around. Referees are letting him play on. with that series of substitutions. Also, Albert Dequa in all competitions. Today is number 100 with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. 4 years here initially between 2020 and 2023. He left to go to Rhode Island for a pair of seasons and returned to Pittsburgh this year. And if you include all the cups and the regular season and the playoffs, today is 100. 212 in championship play. Cross, Dequa couldn't keep it in.
The ball played over the end line and will be a goal kick coming out for the Jacks.
Turn your next outing into a game day experience with the Charlotte Independents. Groups of 10 or more can walk out with the team, play on the pitch at halftime, or take a post-game photo on the field. Book your group today and make memories at the Sportsplex or American Legion Memorial Stadium. Or maybe even perhaps the horse races they had in halftime. Charlotte still control 1-0, 63 minutes in. Still Manzinga, the lone goal in the 22nd from Enzo Martinez. Romero leads it for Skinner. Souza got in the way, but it remains with the Jacks. Charlotte won't play again in the USL Cup for another 5 weeks as Jaime Sanders, Manzinga twirls in too high.
Jaime feeds Christy Manzinga. His shot just over the crossbar.
What a try for Manzinga as he had eyes for the brace. A nice feed for Jaime, who hasn't gotten a chance to hit the score sheet whatsoever, but he is at the very least creating those opportunities. For Jaime, he hasn't a goal contribution since October of 2024 when he was still in MLS Next Pro with LAFC 2. He went 0 in 30 regular season matches last year in his debut season in USL League One. Up the gut, Alvarez turns. Walty has to be careful. It's still Alvarez. Splits it. Baquero sends it across. Alvarez, top of the box. Bit of a scrap. 2 Jacks, 1 Hound in the way. It's Jaime. Alvarez wants Dimmick coming in, but intervened. Baquero using those fresh legs, only been on the field for about 3 minutes to regain possession for Charlotte. Looks like Pittsburgh had it for a second. Skinner won it back. Baquero has Dimmick. Goes for Martinez. Dimmick too far ahead. Offside.
Flag is up. Indirect kick for the Riverhounds.
Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XMFC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights, plus your live matches from the USL, MLS Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XMFC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Day 1, round 2 in the 3rd year of the USL Cup. 2 longtime USL Championship rivals in the Charlotte Independents and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. 15 times they've played prior to today, all in USL Championship play. Charlotte severely leads the series 9-1-5, but Bassett looking for the response that Pittsburgh are dying for. Walty Kelp. Pittsburgh still sitting on 5 attempts in this game. Only 2 of them coming in this half. Digwa using the frame. Advantage plays as Dimmick gets dropped. Alvarez sends Manzinga in a full sprint, but it went off of McCoy, and that will halt all progress for Charlotte. Leading the way, Digwa, Levy off his line, and he got it off for the rebound. Matt Levy must have been playing some basketball recently with the way that he was able to tip that to himself. Preventing the most dangerous goal scorer on the field to potentially equalize. Walty, top of the area, wants the back post for Digwa.
Offside flag is
offside against Pittsburgh.
Kick coming out for the Independents.
Aquafina is the official water and hydration partner of the Charlotte Independents. When the game heats up, cool down with Aquafina. .68-degree day here in Charlotte. In round 2 of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. As we mentioned before, Charlotte will be back in action in the Cup about 5 weeks from now against Greenville Triumph on June 24th. They'll be back here at American Legion. And for Pittsburgh, they don't have to wait very long. First week of June against Charleston. Mertz expands. Bassett off of Skinner. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Tossed in the box, but out of play for a Pittsburgh corner. Despite the overall myriad of attempts that both these teams have had, we only have 3 total corners with 20 minutes left to go. And Pittsburgh have had 2 of those 3 corners.
Ball defended over the end line is a corner kick for the Riverhounds.
And only within the past about 5 minutes or so have Pittsburgh taken over on both possession and XG, but haven't been able to capitalize, but could have a chance with the captain Robbie Mertz on the near flag. It is Mertz, headed. Couldn't keep it in play, but Kelp retrieves, tries again, swatted out by Levy, and Manzinga fell, fires, over the bar!
Shot goes over the crossbar.
What a push up and out from Matt Levy to keep Pittsburgh off the board. The first try wasn't able to get there. A great retrieval from Kelp to get it back over. Taking over on the lost footing by Manzinga, and what a clip from Levy to get it away from the goal. That could have easily dipped under, and we have back-to-back corners. Headed in. That was Baquero. Martinez all the way out. Digwa gets a clip. Kelp can't control. Romero removes it from the penalty area, but it remains with Pittsburgh. And we might be having a triple sub coming up from Pittsburgh. And this actually comprises of the last 3 subs that Coach Vincent has at his disposal. He only had 5 field players in today's game to begin with. And the overall composition of these subs is probably the most interesting part. It is going to be Brigham Larson, who will replace Trevor Amon. Jorge Garcia will come into the match. Jackson Walty is done for the day. And Aldi Flowers is replacing Victor Souza. And that is the most interesting sub of the three because you have a forward in for a defender, a center back to be specific.
Replacing number 42, Jackson Walty.
So that's the rest of the subs for Rob Vincent. Mertz got grappled on by Martinez. Turned over from Jaime. Manzinga looking for Baquero. Baquero with pressure up the gut. And Charlotte might just try to relieve that pressure by expanding things a bit. So you have Brigham Larson, the second-year Hound from UNC Charlotte, coming to Charlotte as one of the subs by Pittsburgh, as Charlotte back on the attack. Baquero for Jaime. Jaime had a couple chances in this game. Baquero, he chips it. Couldn't find Alvarez. Amaya keeps it alive. Skinner. What a move. Skinner, wide angle, still with it. Dislodged. Great moves by Owen McCoy to get it free. Also very familiar with this Carolina region, coming from Campbell College for 4 years before transferring to the SEC's Kentucky Wildcats. And this is where the next two subs will come for Mike Jeffries. It is going to be with 15 minutes to go in the game. You have Swabu Maru and Miles Lyons entering the fold. And you have the two guys who combined for the opening goal, Martinez and Manzinga, the two that will take a spot on the bench. So 3 subs in for Mike Jeffries, and you've used up all 5 if you're Rob Vincent. Alvarez harassed, still has it, well wide, looking for Maru.
Pass goes through and over the end line. Goal kick coming
Shop
out for
the
Riverhounds.
Charlotte Independence's latest collections at charlotteindependence.myshopify.com or by clicking the shop button at charlotteindependence.com. In red today, their red homage kit in their Salute to Sacrifice night. Recognizing those in service. It's a foot race. You have Dikwa, but Levy will force the issue. Into the area, all lost it. The USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Pittsburgh will have Miami on the docket back at FNB Stadium. Charlotte will be back here at American Legion hosting Ford Madison the next time that these two will be in play. One of the guys that Pittsburgh brought in was Aldi Flowers, who spent last year with Texoma in USL League One, so he has that 5 games of League One experience under his belt, goes over to the championship side and plays his first game since decision day last year, Texoma versus Tormenta, as McCoy prevents Alvarez's progress. Enter the Prinx Tires USL Cup Game Day Sweepstakes for your chance to win a prize pack worth up to $2,000. Scan the QR code on the screen and enter today. Round 2 of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. These two are 2 of the 3 teams that won their opening games in regulation. Pittsburgh beats Greenville, Charlotte beat Richmond, and barring the result of, well, it's not going to happen this week perhaps, but barring whatever results can happen from some of the other games, the winner of this could be on top of the group when it's all said and done. The only other game in this group that's happening this weekend is tomorrow, where Richmond will host the Charleston Battery. Lions chasing on Mertz. And Mertz gets dropped. Caro wants to lead the way from Maru, and he hits it. And Charlotte more than content to just retreat back and eat up as much of this clock as possible. A very stout defensive team this year so far have been Charlotte. 9 goals allowed in League One play across 9 matches. But it currently sits at the 3rd lowest total, but that's because you have a logjam of teams that have only allowed either 7 to 9 goals, and that accounts for well over half of the league. Mertz, forward, Dequa, across, still loose, rebound, and it sneaks in! By the tiniest of margins, that just barely beats Matt Levy. Jorge Garcia, his first goal of the season, and this game is tied at 1. That was in by the slimmest of margins. Garcia comes in late, and he just narrowly beats out the fingertips of Levy. Rips that one bottom left corner, and now we have a brand new ball game with under 10 minutes to go. First goal in all comps this year. Has only played in 1 game in the regular season. He's played in 3 games in cup competition, 1 today and 2 in the Open Cup. Made his 2026 debut in the regular season last time out against Louisville. And just like that, this game is tied and it is wide open. it looked like Pittsburgh were snake bitten, but they find a way to tie this game up, and now all the cards are on the table. Pittsburgh, in the 6 games that they've allowed the opening goal, they've only recouped points in 2 of them. One of them was a win, and one of them was a draw. And if things hold up at this point, we go straight to penalties. It does not end in a tie. All wanted to go forward to give Larson a chance, but it wasn't there. Gatorade is the official sports drink provider of the Charlotte Independents. After a long day on the field or at the gym, make sure to replenish the electrolytes with Gatorade's many flavored sports drinks. Skinner, near side. Charlotte still in pursuit. Pittsburgh, they've been looking for those moments to strike. They finally capitalized, less than 10 minutes to go in the game, but they might have coughed one up as they foul inside of their own half. Rob Vincent mentioned that all of his expectations were that this was going to be a difficult game. Mike Jeffries noted the physicality on Pittsburgh's defense. Baquero in the area, still loose, it's headed and over.
Header goes just wide of the mark. It's a goal kick coming out for the Riverhounds.
If things were to go to penalties, this would be a spot that Pittsburgh could absolutely excel at. 3 of their 4 games in the USL Championship playoffs last year went to penalties, including the final against Tulsa. If you're Charlotte, do you just maybe stay content with going to penalties and playing your odds for the bonus point? Do you go aggressive and try to get the game winner here? Especially with the previous experience of cup setting Charleston in the Open Cup at the end of March. However, that game went to extras. This one will go straight to PKs. Dikwa opens, Larson! Romero got there just in time. No penalty either. However, Pittsburgh applying more pressure on Charlotte. Mertz. Dikwa gets around Romero. All. And Dikwa with Mertz on the near side. Under 5 minutes to go in day 1 of round 2 of the USL Cup. It was Manzinga on the 22nd and Jorge Garcia in the 82nd, leading it. All crossing, Levy with a touch, and Amaya clears it away. Not so far as it's kept in by Osamanu. No, not quite. You have a bunch of collisions in the box, drawing whistles. Levy and Dimmick were amongst the mix. This was that last play. You had all and just an inadvertent collision where Dimmick was tangled up with his man. And he might have taken a boot to the back of the head. You already had 2 subs upcoming from Mike Jeffries on the sideline. He used up 3. He has 2 ready.
Fans, don't forget,
would he be so bold enough to bring in Joshua Burton, who was only brought on about 9 days ago on a 25-day contract? And the only reason Burton was brought in was because of the injury to George Tesaurus. You can very clearly see with the flashlight that is concussion testing. You do have the availability of the 24-year-old Joshua Burton on the bench if you want to go that way. Formerly of Emmanuel University at the Division II level in Georgia. But it seems like all is well with Levy. Just a moment to recollect. And this could be the window of opportunity to make the final couple of changes, and it will be.
Substitutions are brought to you by Atlas Chiropractic.
It is Tabo Nare who will replace Christopher Jaime, and not just a debut, but also the introduction of a Jack who got signed earlier today. Jack Neely comes in the 89th minute. Jack Neely was brought on today, loaned through the month of June from Crown Legacy of MLS Next Pro, the Charlotte FC farm system in MLS and Next Pro. And Tabo Nare, first year with Charlotte after spending the last several years in Next Pro and in League One. Last year with Tormenta and the 2 prior with North Texas and LAFC 2. Jefferson Amaya and Christopher Jaime will be the ones coming off. So you have midfielder for center back and center back for midfielder. So it seems like Mike Jeffries might be trying to just hold on to this lead in the final minute plus stoppage, but it's inside the box. The chip is over. But a great try by Brigham Larson. He has yet to score a goal with the Hounds. 20 matches in the regular season, all of them as a substitute, yet to get that first goal for the Norwegian. Maru couldn't take it back from all. Pump fakes, now releases. Dikwa tracks it. And they say Dikwa got his foot high on Jaime as we have stoppage time from Blue Cross Blue Shield. 3 minutes are added. If things remain tied, we go straight to penalty kicks. Points would be split, but there would be a bonus point on the line in the standings. And that could be huge both for the group and for the wild card, as the points scored is the primary differentiator, as your standings would traditionally be. But that 3-2-1 point system adds an extra wrinkle into everything. Charlotte looking to win 3 straight for the second time this year. John Baquero stands over. 1 minute in of 3 on stoppage. Baquero skies it. He had a barrage of yellow in the way and circle back.
Ball played over the end line. Goal kick coming out for the Riverhounds. Correction, it's a free kick.
This simply goes end to end, but it does remain with Pittsburgh on a toss halfway through stoppage. Bassett sliding by, has Mertz end to end. Mertz to his right, sends it across, too high for Dikwa, and it's offside again.
Indirect kick coming out for the Independents.
Offsides have really hampered Pittsburgh. They've had at least 4 or 5 precious opportunities squandered because the flag went up. That's their 5th offside of this game. Especially for Pittsburgh, who have a Miami FC team coming in their next championship game, who are no slouches. Miami FC are above 500 in the early portion of the season. And not just above 500, but above the playoff line in that first 8 or 9 games or so. And for Pittsburgh, that could be even more pivotal because the last 2 seasons they've been at 500 or under through the first 10 games. They are exactly at 500 as we stand, 4-4-1 in USL Championship play. What can they carry with them into that next game in regular season play for both of these teams? We're at the 3rd minute, and that is where we stand. Tied at 1. And for the first time in Group 6, we head to penalties. The Jackson Hounds is a stalemate through 90 minutes. And Charlotte have won the last 2, and it's been a minute since we've had a tie between these 2 sides. We will take a look at how we got to this point of the game with our full-time highlights between Charlotte and Pittsburgh. Full-time highlights are brought to you by Novant Health. 22nd minute is how things got started. It was this back and forth play with the back heel by Alvarez to Martinez and Manzinga. Friendly fire on the block, but able to do good on it, making up for it on the rebound. As you just had the whole wall of yellow there, but everyone wanted an offside, but it wasn't going to come. In the 81st minute, by the slimmest of margins, just comes across, and that one was banged through by Jorge Garcia. His first goal of the season across all competitions, his 2nd goal as a member of the Riverhounds. And full-time stats also brought to you by Novant Health. Pittsburgh really couldn't get their footing almost at all until the second half of the game. And that was a place where they really had a large portion of the control on Charlotte, leading in shots on target. A stat that's not shown on here that I think kind of exemplifies the second half is the 0.6 to 0.08 XG between Pittsburgh and Charlotte, leading Pittsburgh's way. And it just took a while for Pittsburgh to get there, but at the end of the day, this is where we stand. 1-1 at the end of 90. Two PKs in round 1. All the games ended in regulation. Charlotte beat Richmond, Pittsburgh beat Greenville, and Charleston beat Loudoun. One game has already concluded in round 2. That one ended in regulation. In night 1 of round 2, we already have our first set of penalties. All indications go to the right side goal in front of the Independence faithful. We We have yet to really see any major contributions on PKs from Charlotte. The dot is a spot where Pittsburgh have absolutely excelled. That is the reason why they won the title in the USL Championship last year. They beat Tulsa in PKs. They had 3 PK wins in 4 playoff games. And even in the USL Cup from a year ago, they had 2 games against League One opponents. One of them was a regulation win against Westchester, and the other one, they lost in PKs against Portland Hearts of Pine. Luis Alvarez to take the first PK. He had one saved against Boise, but he had one converted against Corpus Christi. Luis Alvarez to open the shootout for Charlotte. Off the ricochet and in. Confident as always from Luis Alvarez. It seemed like Mitch Butler might have gotten the best of Alvarez. The slow approach and just chips it. Had Butler guessing. Sam Bassett will step up for Pittsburgh. He spent the last several seasons with Colorado Rapids and their respective second team in MLS Next Pro. First year in the USL Championship. 3 goals on the year to open PKs for Pittsburgh. Got Levy to bite. Perhaps some of that experience in Next Pro pays off, as for the second straight PK, goalie and shooter go opposite direction. John Baccaro came in at the 61st minute. He's been largely a setup guy. He is second in League One in assists, a chance to get a PK goal in round 2. Smashes it home. Calm and confident, John Baccaro, as always. A man who's very meticulous with his routines. And he makes no mistakes. Right in between the arms of Butler. And Matt Levy the opportunity to respond.
Stepping up for the Riverhounds, number 10, Charles All.
It will be Charles All, yet to score a goal this year, but has 4 in 2 seasons with the Riverhounds. The former Stetson Hatter. Denied by Levy. Levy got it to go. Levy went to his left in the first shot. This time he goes to his right and puts Charlotte in the driver's seat. It is Javan Romero to take the next one. $80 career games for Romero. 1 goal this year. Has Butler going the wrong direction once again. And Charlotte continue to expand their lead in this PK shootout. That is the 3rd straight corner that has gone shooters right. At second, pardon.
Shooting next for the Riverhounds, number 9, Albert Dequa.
The most dangerous man on the pitch offensively on either side. Albert Dikwa. He is 2 from the Golden Boot lead with 5. He converts. How many times has Albert Dikwa been able to convert from the spot? How often do you rely on a guy like him to get a key goal in a key place, and he absolutely delivers? Albert Dikwa keeps Pittsburgh alive as it's Swabu Maru to take the next one. Swabu Maru, a career high 9 goals last year. Down the gut. 4-2 to begin the fourth. Even though Mitch Butler has experience with Philly Union 2, that was when they were in the USL Championship, so the next pro rules didn't apply. And for Robbie Mertz, the captain, this is the spot, yet to get a goal at all this year. And that stays the same! Levy leaves Pittsburgh without the spare point. As Charlotte celebrate the cup set against the Riverhounds. Matt Levy, 2 saves in the clutch. He beat out Mertz, he beat out all, and that was enough to secure a second point to Charlotte. Our man of the match is presented by Aquafina, and it's none other than the man between the pipes.
Thank you, fans, for another incredible
3 consecutive wins for Matt Levy. 5 straight unbeaten across all competitions for the 26-year-old, and he has planted his flag firmly in that net. Matt Levy and the Charlotte Independents come through in the clutch. It ends 1-1 after regulation, but the extra point in PKs comes home to the Jacks. We wrap things up in the USL Cup in Charlotte when we come back.
When it comes to delivering high quality, affordable health care, relationships matter. And after 90 years, Blue Cross North Carolina is proud of the relationships we've built with you. We're 5,000 neighbors, friends, and family committed to improving the health and well-being of everyone across this state. We're here for you, all of you.
Carolina Ascent, coming to American Legion Memorial Stadium. Super Women of Soccer. Speed changes everything. Mackenzie George, lightning fast. Before you hear the thunder, you see the flash.
Something big is coming. Saturday, May 16th, it's the fantastic finale. 2,000 t-shirts from Morningstar Storage, Taylor Swift tribute band from Gainbridge, the Food Lion Base Camp Bash, and post-game fireworks.
CarolinaAscent.com. We kick grass.
In Charlotte, they showed them what it's worth. Make them go, oh my goodness, as this game ends in a PK shootout with the first cup set in Group 6 in the Prinx Tires USL Cup. we take a look at how we got to this point with our full-time highlights between the Independents and the Riverhounds. 22nd minute, the opening goal for Charlotte, as the full-time highlights are brought to you by Novant Health. A lot of fluidity going across and a bit of a accidental friendly fire, but it does get buried into the back of the net at the end of the day. Alvarez Martinez off of Manzinga, but he collects his own rebound and he makes it count at the end of the day. Less than 10 minutes to go in regulation. By the tiniest of margins, it gets slammed just inside of the post. Jorge Garcia getting the goal to equalize things with under 10 minutes to go in regulation. And this was the final PK save, the final nail in the coffin. Matt Levy on the captain, Robbie Mertz, and the second point went to Charlotte for the first cup set in Group 6 of the USL Cup. What a beautiful day to end the Salute to Sacrifice night, Military Appreciation Day, honoring those in service, and fireworks is a great way to describe how this game panned out. It was tied at 1 at the end of the day, but when it's all said and done, in Group 6, we have our first cup set. Charlotte beats Pittsburgh in PKs for our entire USL on ESPN Plus crew. My name is Ryan Lee. Thank you for joining us. Have a great rest of your night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.